Well, there you have it. We just repowered this go-kart with a BILT HARD from Amazon. This is what you get when you open up the package of the BILT HARD. I don't know what it's referring to. 7.0 what? Not foot-pounds, or I don't know. It doesn't matter. Interestingly enough, it has a lot of specifications here. 8.86 pound-feet of torque at 2,500 RPM. But it really doesn't give us horsepower rating. Now the Predator might be a lot faster, but we're going for cheap here. How it stacks up to replacing the fun power.
I was trying to go pretty slow because I didn't know you turn it all the way down. It is crazy.
Welcome back out to the shop. We're working on a few things right now. I have the heater core section from the donor Jeep torn apart. This is the heater core. We're going to try to put it into Mara's Jeep soon, but as you will see next from this, she has been working on the headliner because we are going to be working on interior stuff on that. She has been working on that and I have been working on this. But today, right now, we have a project that's completely unrelated to this Jeep. Is that right, buddy? What are we working on?
Go-kart?
Go-kart! Alright, let's get this guy out and show you what we got. This is a go-kart that our neighbor gave us. Okay, so our neighbor gave this to the boys to drive around. He had used it when he was younger and it's been sitting in his dad's shed forever, and so we got it, and he said he didn't know anything much about like how it was or anything like that, but he just gave it to him. So we got it, started looking at it, and it turns out the way these mufflers are, any little bit of moisture can just head right down in that muffler and it's seized. So I actually pulled the spark plug out, moisture in the cylinder. I tried putting a wrench on the crank, seized up. And actually there's water in the oil too. This guy's toast. But that means it's time for a new one. And the first thought that I had, which probably most of you are too, go get a Predator from Harbor Freight. You know, they're not the cheapest thing out there anymore. Let's go check out what we got. Amazon delivered. So this is the cheapest 212cc engine that I could find on Amazon. And not only was it the cheapest that I could find on Amazon, it was significantly cheaper than the Harbor Freight version, the Predator. Now the Predator might be a lot faster, but we're going for cheap here because we know these boys are going to destroy this thing. So if I'm going to have to replace it, I want to replace it with the cheapest one I can. But we're going to see how it stacks up to running this go-kart. And maybe how it stacks up to replacing the fun power. Interestingly enough, it has a lot of specifications here. 8.86 pound-feet of torque at 2,500 RPM. But it really doesn't give us horsepower rating. So it's hard to match it up. It's hard to figure out exactly what we're going to get out of this. Let's get this guy over, we can work on it. This is what you get when you open up the package of the BILT HARD 212cc 7.0, which I'm guessing is not referring to, I don't know what it's referring to. 7.0 what? Not foot-pounds, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Alright, so first thing we notice is it has a lever for throttle. So we're going to have to take that lever off and replace it with a cable from the throttle pedal. So the pedal there is going to have some kind of a cable. We'll have to work into that. It has a choke, and it has the fuel on and off. And then the other part is probably we'll have to change something with the switch so that the kill switch on the control there works. And then that should be pretty much it. We will need to figure out how it mounts and compare it to where that one mounts, and then make mounts for it. And then we will also have to put a clutch on here. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the old one off and then see if this one fits. Here we go. We got the old one out. We got to check to see if the new one can go in, but right now it's dinner time, so we got to go get some dinner. We'll be back out this in a couple minutes. See you in a minute. Alright, so we also ordered a new clutch with it. This is going to be the moment where we find out whether or not the clutch is the right one for the motor. So, it has a notch. Try to take this off. Oh, don't pull that. Oh, is it too big? Oh, it might work. Alright, Harlan, here, hold this camera. Point it there.
Can we try pulling it?
There we go. Now we just gotta... There we go.
Yay!
Now we're talking. Alright, so what we gotta notice here is that the distance between here and here is bigger than my clutch. So the clutch has the ability to move around. So there's some exposed shaft here. So we don't want that to free spin. So we're going to want to make sure that we put a spacer on here. So when we put our end, our screw in the end, that there's a spacer so that this clutch doesn't have free spin to go back and forth. We don't want it to be locked in there tight, but we also don't want it to go freewheeling and have too much play on that shaft. But that is an Amazon special clutch.
Are they both Amazon?
Heavy duty construction.
Only one's
triple
Amazon,
clutch.
right? Only one.
We're going cheap here. Cheap. Right?
Cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Alright, so that works in theory.
I knew.
We'll put this in the bench for later, and then we'll start measuring out the holes, see if we can get them in the holes. Okay, so the two things that we're going to have to change out of the gate, I can see right now, this muffler shield is hitting the roll bar, so I'm going to loosen this guy up and try to knock that loose a little bit. And then over here, you can see there's another hole for the pull string. We will want to take this cover off and rotate that pull string down to that hole. That's pretty easy. You just take those 4 bolts out, and then got to figure out how to get this end off, which I'm probably just going to be able to pop that off and then unknot it. There we go. Alright, so this guy here kind of pops out of the handle like that, and then you can see there's a knot in there, so we'll want to take that knot and we'll want to untie it. Alright, so then I just took these pliers. It was melted together a little bit, but not too bad. I just untied it. You can see it's like a little bit dark there, and then we can fish this part off and then this part off, but we don't want to let go of this because it'll just go flap, 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 flap in there. So we'll just take this cable, kind of hold the spring so that it doesn't run away, and then grab it out of there, out of that hole, and then we'll just kind of let it go back through to this hole on the bottom, and then we'll fish it through that hole on the bottom, and now back through this handle like that, and then back through this handle like this. Oh, there it goes. That's what you don't want to do. Then you lose all the spring tension in there. Now I've got to wind it back up. That's not the right way, is it? Oh, that is the right way, isn't it? I don't know. Hold on.
Which one? Which hole is it?
That the right way? No, that's not the right way.
Hey, I never realized that this one.
Okay. So if by chance you do accidentally let it go, Amelia, stop that, please. Stop that, please. So if by chance you do let it go, give it a couple of turns to rebind that spring up so that it's pre-tensioned. After it's tensioned, let it back out so you watch the springs. Make sure that those are still working. These guys, these grabbers, make sure they're still working. We've still got some tension on it. Now we'll fit it back through there and make sure we're pulling on the right one again. Yeah, that's the right one. Alright, let's try this again. Maybe wrap it around a finger so that it won't go running away on us. Put this guy in there. Make sure that the dog chain is rattling on the microphone really loud. Dog. Let's wrap this around here. And then let's grab this out of here like that. Wrap it around our finger again. There we go. Now, let's tie that knot back in it. I think that they had it like a double butterfly or something like that. I don't know what it was.
Pretzel?
Pretzel knot. Yeah, we'll call it a pretzel knot.
Pretzel. Someone could actually let me make a pretzel.
Just take that guy, stuff it in that hole, and we can stuff it back in there, and voila. Now we can pull from the other direction. Now we have the handle out here, we can get to it, and we have enough clearance around this roll bar. We're going to tighten this side back up again. You can see it kind of moved around a little bit, and this guy had moved around a little bit, so we're going to tighten these bolts back up so hopefully it doesn't slide into it. But at least now we know we don't have to modify that shield. Alright, so as we saw a little bit ago, it does come with a little tag on it that says no oil in it, so you do need to add oil. Oil is not included. And they recommended 10W30.
Something in it.
This is what we had laying around. And if you have or don't have a syringe, get one because it's helpful because you can suck it out of the oil and stick it into there without making too much of a mess. So then it's nice because it has two filler checkers, so you can check it on the back of the front. Same thing.
But
it also has this little dipstick, which seems kind of pointless, right? Now, what did you want to say?
This one doesn't have a dipstick.
Oh, that's right. So one of them has a dipstick, which is really handy, but it doesn't make sense because you're trying to make the level even with the bottom of the hole. So you want to fill up like that much oil. But we've got oil in it now. Then I made sure that the switch was off, in off position, and then I pulled it a couple of times just to get the oil kind of cycled in there. And then we're going to put it on there and we're going to test fire it. Check the camera, see if you can record it. See if it's recording. Point it at me. Hi. Alright, we've got oil in it, we got gas in it. We pulled it a bunch of times to make sure that the oil was well lubricated. Now we're going to turn the switch on. We're going to set the fuel to on. We're going to set the choke to run and give it a little bit of throttle.
Can we ride it now?
No, not quite.
It makes the glass pop.
Okay, I used a washer to space it out so that it's even with the end, and then I put some red Loctite, red thread locker on the bolt. Using two washers here so that one of them is large enough to keep that from sliding over the smaller washer. And that will be our deal. So we got that bolted on there now. Focus. There we go. Alright, we have that on there now. We have a little bit of play in the threads down here, so we're going to loosen up the mount bolts again. We're going to put the chain on, and then we're going to slide the engine to line the chain up straight, and then push it all the way forward so that it tensions the chain. Not too tight, but tight enough, so that'll have to move. We'll have to loosen this and slide it as the chain wears, but that's normal for go-karting. But we're almost there. The test fire went well, and now we got to get the throttle cable hooked up, and we need to get the brakes. No, not the brakes, the cutoff switch.
On that Jeep is very handy.
Driveway clear, he says. Well, what about that bike right there? Okay. Okay. Alright, so we made good progress tonight, but not great. So, let me show you. We got the clutch mounted, and we got the chain on, we got the motor mounted. Unfortunately, the cable for the throttle is too short, so we got to lengthen that to come around the back and into this spot right here so that we can actuate the throttle with it. And the kill switch wire, we didn't connect that. But the biggest thing holding us back tonight is this chain. Hold on, pliers. Using those pliers.
Yes.
The biggest thing is this chain. If you watch it roll across here, you'll notice it gets kind of clunky. So I thought I could soak it in oil and loosen up the links, but unfortunately they are seized pretty solid, so this chain is roached. So we have to get a new chain, but thought maybe if I could even weigh it is a little bit, maybe I could get a tiny little rip out of it with me just hand throttling it. So let's see what we can get. Close your ears.
Like my ears.
Fuel on, engine start. Okay, we're Well, what we need to do is we need to figure out what we're doing for a chain, because that's probably going to be a problem. It's definitely going to be a problem. But we get a new chain. That ripped pretty good. So
Get a new chain.
new chain, throttle cable, and we'll be off to the races. But
Races?
it's well past our noise limit for tonight.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
I think we should go inside, watch YouTube somewhat, and maybe come back out here some other time and work on it more.
Yeah, he's right. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. Go inside, watch some YouTube, and finish. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, it is the next day. We have been to the store. We got a new chain link, a new length of chain, and we borrowed this cable from a stationary bike in the basement. So now we're almost ready to rip. Let's put this together. Yeah, we got the new chain on. I gotta put this link right here. Can you see it? Yeah, there it is, blocking the light. Okay, this link slides through on the back. Slide through from the back, just like that. And you take these this other side and slide it on there. You put the clip on there like that, and then clip it on. Now we have a little bit of play in there, but we can take that slack out by moving the motor. But we also need to take this air cleaner off because we need to get to this clamp right here and the associating clamp on the other side of it. Alright, now let's grab some Phillips head screwdrivers and take those screws out. Careful, don't drop it, dude. See if that'll come off of there with those off there. Careful.
Pierce some. But then there's this tube.
Oh, the vent tube's got to come off. That is all one piece, so that does not come apart.
So wait, this?
Why the heck do they have those screws in there then? That's got to come apart. But it must be glued. Don't know.
So this?
Okay. Now, we're looking at for this screw right here and this clamp. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect the cable in there and the sheathing in here. Alright, so we loosen up this clamp here. We just loosen up with a Phillips head. We get the sheathing clamp in there. Okay, so this is a really cool feature. It has a lot of different options. So what you're going to want to do, first thing you want to do if you're going to use it in a go-kart application like this, is loosen this nut so that the throttle becomes fluid. It will kind of spring back on its own then. And then you have the option of putting a cable in here, latching it on here and connecting it there, or latching it on here and connecting it here. So what this is this is a pivoting, retainer thing. You grab the bottom one with the pliers and then you screw it out, and then you can put your cable in that little hole in there. If I can get my fingers on it here, so that it comes out the other side, and then you do the whole process in reverse. Here, put your hands on that bud and get ready to screw when I get a pair of pliers on. Alright, screw that down tight. Tight as you can get it. That's good. Good deal. Alright, that's good. Don't spin it like that. Now we got to tighten this guy down. Okay. That's connected. Okay, so it's back together now. We ended up getting that cable routed around there, hooked onto there, in there. It's really nice. It's got a lot of options there, so it should be good. And now we're gonna take it for a little rip. is way too fast. I dialed that throttle all the way back. Well, there you have it. We just repowered this go-kart with a BILT HARD from Amazon, and it's too much. I mean, it's too much. I don't know how it compares to the Predator, but that motor just rips the tires off of this, and me in it, I can't handle it. Just you'd be cruising along and just full throttle it, and it'll just spin around on you. So I don't know how he's going to handle it. Plus, our yard isn't really conducive to it, so we might have to take it to some parking lots and see what that looks like. But stay tuned for more. If you want to see more about what we do with this, whether we leave this guy on here and figure out how we can rip it here, maybe we put some suspension on it or something, or maybe we go electric and change it all again. But we won't know until we get to that part later on. Who knows? But that's it for now. Thanks for stopping out. We'll see you guys on the next one.
This is so shaky. That was super bumpy.
Super bumpy.
Super bumpy. And I was trying to go pretty slow because I didn't know you turned it all the way down. It is crazy fast.
All it did was do burnouts.
It is an N battery.
Oh, N battery?